Welcome back to Skytech-Lens, May 29, 2025, a date that could reshape the American auto industry. It began with a blunt shareholder letter from General Motors. New auto tariffs, championed by President Trump, could cost GM up to $5 billion. That number triggered immediate shockwaves, shift cuts, temporary layoffs, and thousands of workers sent home. Suppliers across the Midwest and Ontario shuttered, and Wall Street slashed forecasts as GM stock tumbled. For assembly line workers, this isn't about stock prices. It's about their livelihoods, mortgage payments, and the fear of losing jobs they've held for decades. Economists warn up to 50,000 jobs are at risk. The assembly lines are quiet, but the tension is building. How long can the line stay quiet before it snaps? Let's break down the mechanics. Tariffs were meant to protect American manufacturing by making imports pricier, pushing companies like GM to buy and build American. But GM's supply chain is global. Thousands of parts come from all over the world. Tariffs don't create new American suppliers overnight, they just raise costs instantly. That $5 billion bill? It's the direct result of new taxes on essential parts. In an industry with razor-thin margins, those costs get passed to consumers, hundreds or thousands more per vehicle. Suppliers face the same squeeze, raising prices up the chain, creating a domino effect of rising costs. The tariffs, meant as a shield, have become a wedge between manufacturer and consumer, company and workforce. Even if only a fraction of a car's 30,000 parts are imported, the cumulative impact is staggering. The policy assumed a simple, national model of production that no longer exists. Now GM faces tough choices: cut production, reduce shifts, and question the future of entire plants. The goal was to protect jobs, but the immediate result is a $5 billion hole threatening to swallow them. The global supply chain is too complex to be rewired overnight. The entire ecosystem is on high alert. The $5 billion headline masks a deeper story, one unfolding in silent, empty factories. Factory Zero in Detroit, once GM's electric flagship, has cut shifts and sent hundreds home. Ingersoll, Ontario's Cami plant, vital for the equinox, is shut down, thousands idled, the town's economy frozen. Oshawa, a century-old GM hub, faces another suspension, rippling through dozens of local suppliers now closing their doors. It's not just GM's 10,000 direct jobs. Truck drivers, machine shops, diners, and coffee shops all feel the chill. For every assembly job, up to 8 supporting jobs are at risk. Wall Street responded instantly. GM's stock dropped, credit ratings wavered, and analysts braced for a long disruption. Shutdowns mean dealerships run low, cash flow dries up, and pressure builds across the supply chain. This isn't a clean break, it's a messy, painful unraveling of economic interdependence. Michigan, Ohio, Ontario, communities built around these factories are shaken to their core. Small suppliers operating on thin margins can't survive even brief shutdowns. The empty parking lots are just the surface. The real damage spreads quietly through the industrial Midwest. Production hasn't just stopped, it's left a void in entire communities. The silence is deafening. The tariff crisis hit GM just as it doubled down on electric vehicles, investing billions in new plants and technology. The plan relied on government incentives and surging consumer demand, but new tariffs and changes to the EV tax credit have upended everything. Many GM EVs lost eligibility for the $7,500 tax credit, making them thousands more expensive overnight. Tariffs on battery materials and electronics, mostly sourced from abroad, add even more to the sticker price. The result: consumer interest is cooling. EVs are sitting on lots, and the mainstream buyer is hesitating. GM has built massive EV capacity, but unsold inventory is piling up, straining finances. The transition to EVs was already a gamble. Now, with both EVs and gas vehicles hit by tariffs, the squeeze is on both sides. Consumers see higher prices for both options and are choosing to wait or look elsewhere. GM's bet on electrification, made under old assumptions, has collided with a new reality of protectionism and uncertainty. The company is caught in the middle, with a future that suddenly looks more distant and expensive. Behind the numbers are the people, workers and their unions, caught in a painful bind. The UAW is split. Some members support tariffs as a way to protect American jobs, while others see them as a direct threat to their paychecks. Many workers, promised security, now face layoffs and uncertainty as plants go idle. The union leadership is stuck: condemn the tariffs and risk alienating members, or stay quiet and seem ineffective. The debate is raw, playing out in union halls and family kitchens across the Midwest. Idling means pay cuts and financial stress, even with some supplemental union pay. The core promise of union solidarity is being tested as divisions grow. Workers are frustrated. Some see this as necessary pain for long-term gain, others as a self-inflicted wound. The UAW represents workers at Ford and Stellantis too. The pressure is industry-wide. The politics are charged, with the union navigating between a nationalist administration and globalized employers. The human cost is immediate. Skilled workers, decades on the line, now face an uncertain future. While executives and politicians debate, it's the workers who pay the price. The question remains, how long will the short-term last? This isn't just GM's crisis, it's a global auto industry shockwave. Stellantis, sharing suppliers and factories with GM, is rethinking production and investment. Volvo's US plant strategy is threatened by trade tensions, forcing tough choices in a global conflict. Non-union automakers like Hyundai and Volkswagen in the South face the same rising costs and export risks. GM Korea, once a key engineering and production hub, now faces an uncertain future as GM retrenches. Tariffs spark a domino effect, other countries retaliate, supply chains break, and companies make inefficient, politically driven decisions. The fear is this isn't temporary, but the start of a fractured, deglobalized era. Higher costs, less innovation, fewer choices. Automakers everywhere are pausing investments, waiting for clarity, but uncertainty is costly. The longer the conflict drags on, the greater the risk of a global auto slowdown. The real story is bigger than 50,000 North American jobs. It's about a fundamental reshaping of the global economic order. The tremors that started in Detroit are now felt worldwide. The industry is holding its breath, bracing for the next shockwave. The future of global car making is suddenly in question. The billion-dollar question: can the line restart, and when? 3 scenarios loom. First, a quick recovery, political backlash forces a rollback or exemptions, and production resumes in weeks. Second, the murky middle, tariffs linger, negotiations drag on, and GM struggles to rewire its supply chain. Some jobs return, others don't. Third, the worst case, trade war escalates, tariffs stay, and GM makes permanent cuts, closing plants and eliminating tens of thousands of jobs. The outcome depends on 2 things: policy decisions in Washington and whether consumers will keep buying cars at higher prices. If demand collapses, factories stay quiet, no matter the policy. GM and the union are preparing for all 3 futures. Workers are left in limbo, waiting for a signal from Washington or the market. The assembly line, once a symbol of American might, now stands for uncertainty. The fate of 50,000 jobs hangs in the balance. No one has the answer. Not executives, not union leaders, not workers. The next move will decide the future of the American auto industry. Everyone is waiting. We're at a crossroads. The GM story is a real-time test of 2 visions: protectionism for industrial revival, or global integration for efficiency. 50,000 jobs and billions of dollars hang in the balance. The human cost is real. Families across the heartland face anxious days and sleepless nights. The path forward is unwritten, from swift recovery to possible deindustrialization. The choices made in Washington now will shape America's economic future. What do you think? Are tariffs a necessary tool, or a reckless gamble? Let us know in the comments, and subscribe for more deep dives. Thanks for watching. Subscribe the channel for more updates.